All right, Jared Roberts here. Um, so the podcast that I chose to do a presentation on was was it episode? It was episode 64. It was an interesting episode. It was an interview with Larry Barabino. He's the CEO of Nord, and what kind of drew my attention to it. There's a lot. There's a lot of episodes to choose from. So I was kind of scrolling through it, and what caught my eye was the New Orleans recreational department aspect of it, because I grew up playing baseball for Nord. I was at Milne Playground, so I kind of wanted to see what it was all about. Um, so one of the first questions was, tell me about yourself. Larry Bambino. He's from the Saint Bernard Projects. Grew up in the 7th Ward all his life, pretty much. Played for Willie Hall Playground. Went to elementary and middle school in the 7th Ward, and then he went to Kennedy. After Kennedy, he said he didn't go to college till he was 21 years old. The first thing he did out of high school was get a trade in welding. So he did welding. It was a lot of hard work, something he had never experienced before. His parents pushed him to work hard. That was their thing growing up. So he worked real hard, so eventually he quit. People were telling him this isn't for him, things like that. Everybody he was a 19-year-old kid. Everybody he was working with was in their 60s, working hard, so they didn't have to work. So their kids didn't have to work hard. So they saw something different in him, and they gave him a few words that inspired him to find a new career path. So he went back to college. Enrolled in a program. I think it was a business program, if I'm not mistaken. And in college he saw one of his coaches. He was just in the neighborhood. He saw one of his old coaches. His coach was like, "Yo, can you come coach?" So at first, Mr. Larry, he ain't want to. He was saying he was busy. He was kind of skeptical about it. He was in college and he was working. So that was his first job at Nord. He was 21 years old. He started just picking up the kids from home and bringing them to the park. That's what he started off doing. Until eventually, he started as a coach. Then he got into administration with Nord, and then he kind of went in and out of Nord, and then he finally he climbed the ladder, started climbing the ladder, and then eventually the the position opened up for CEO of Nord. So he interviewed, got the job now he's a CEO. So, I think it was interesting to see that it wasn't very political. Him being a CEO wasn't very political. He actually worked his way up, because I honestly didn't know that that's the way CEOs kind of were chosen. I thought they were like, I don't know what I thought how CEOs became what they are, but it just wasn't that. Also, it was interesting to see how, like, the advice that he gives people who are aspiring CEOs. He gave some advice. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. was a good podcast. I enjoyed it. Appreciate it.